guys, Hallie Cottis with Whole Lifestyle Nutrition and author of Natural Solutions for Cleaning and Wellness. And I'm super excited for day 4, I think it's day 4, of the 100 Days of Natural Living. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about stevia. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about my backstory. About 20 years ago, I lived in Savannah, Georgia. And I was out talking to my neighbor, and all of a sudden I just smelled this sweetness in the air. I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? I was just talking to him and I'm like, what is that smell? I thought it was a plant. I didn't know what it was, but I just smelled this sweetness. And he looks at me and he goes, well, it's me. And I said, what do you mean it's you? And he says, well, I am in development. I'm developing a new product that is 300 times sweeter than sugar, and it's a natural product. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. This is like so in my alley. I knew that sugar was bad for us, and then deep down inside I knew I was struggling with an addiction to sugar. So I was like, great, when's this coming out in the market? And he says, well, it'll be out in the market, you know, we're hoping within the next 6 months to the year or so. So I said, great. So I waited patiently for this to come out in the market, and eventually it did come out. And I was so excited. I was probably one of the first people in the line to go get some natural stevia. So I went ahead and picked up the stevia, and I started to use it, whether it be in my coffee, whether it be for baked goods, anywhere that I wanted to replace sugar. I started to use this natural sweetener. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. But I was like, wait a minute. I started to recognize that I was starting to crave it. I was really wanting more of it. And I was like, wait a minute. I thought this wasn't addictive, you know? I was like, why am I craving it? Why, the more I use it, the more I need it. So I was just like, you know, I started to recognize that some of the big companies had jumped on the bandwagon and they had put stevia out as well. And so I was like, you know, companies like Coca-Cola, and they were putting out, I think Stevia was theirs, and you know, and they're in the market to make you addicted. You know, you're addicted to the sugar that's in their Coke products, you know, and so I'm like, okay, so they're coming into this market. They're gonna, maybe they'll have that same concept where they want us to be addicted to their products. So my plan was to just go ahead and look at my stevia, and I have one right here actually. Let me get my glasses. After you hit 40, you need these, right? So my plan was to start looking at the ingredients to see if other items were being added into the natural stevia. So I started to notice right away that the stevia back in the day that I was looking at had words that ended in OSE. Now I had no idea what these what was in them. I didn't know what that word meant, so I started to research it. And more, if it ended in OSE, like dextrose, or it was another form of sugar. And as I said, sugar is addictive. Sorry, I'm outside. There's a reason for it if you're hearing wind. But anyway, so I was like, oh my gosh, they're adding things to it to keep me addicted to it. So, you know, that was back then. And so I was like, whoa, you know, that's not cool, you know? I mean, I'm using this natural sweetener to break my addiction. But in reality, sugar's still being thrown my way. So, you know, I went ahead and I looked today. I was like, you know, it's funny how the market works, because, you know, they know we are smart consumer shoppers, especially in the health field. You know, we're constantly, you know, we're given information, we're looking at ingredients, and they caught on to what that we were looking at OSE for the end of the word. So they found other ways to kind of hide it. And you know, we live in Florida, and we have a constant amount of people that come through here and stay with us, which we love. We love to host. And so at any rate, you know, one of our guests went out and they bought this, like stevia in their coffee. And I haven't seen it, so certainly I just would assume that stevia today would be different. And you know what? It's different on the label, but it's not any different than what it was when it first came out 20 years. So this organic stevia natural sweetener is 100% not natural. And let me just tell you, the ingredients on this, the first ingredient is organic inulin. Do you know what inulin is? I mean, I didn't. I had to look it up. There's no OSE, so certainly that's not sugar. But like I said, they catch on real quick, the people who put these out. And that is another hidden word for sugar. I think it's fructose. But that's another hidden word for sugar. So the first ingredient is sugar. Then organic stevia leaf extract, which that's good. That's what we want, you know, just that. But no, they can never just add that. And then the other thing is silica. Oh my gosh, this was just like jaw-dropping to me. In my book, Natural Solutions for Cleaning and Wellness, I write about diatomaceous earth. And diatomaceous earth is silica, okay? And it's very trendy right now to ingest that. And it is so bad for you. And that'll be another topic. But silica is a form of quartz and sandstone ground up into a fine powder. And we use it to kill roaches and to kill bugs, to kill ants. I mean, you know, and people are ingesting this. It's just, anyways. So that's in this. That's in the stevia today. I was like, whoa, right? So here's the thing. For years now, I mean, I think 10, 15 years, when stevia took the market by storm, I went out and I searched for the stevia plant, okay? And I have tons of herbs on my patio here, and that'll be another episode that I'll show you my herb garden. But anyways, this is my stevia. It's heavy. Sorry, it just rained, so the soil is super heavy. But this is stevia. It is easily one of the easiest things I've ever grown. It grows like a weed, and it gets super, super big, super fast. I mean, it'll get so high, you guys. And so anyways, what you do with stevia, let me just show this to you. My dog loves it, by the way. But what you do with stevia is, there's a couple ways you can use it. And I just planted this last week. So I'll be sure to show you some updated videos of how it transforms in even a month's time. But what I do is I might take some of my mint, or say my lemon balm, and I'll pick some leaves, and then I will put them in my French press, and then I take some stevia leaves as well. And when I'm making my fresh tea, then I add the stevia leaves in it, and it naturally sweetens the stevia. And now it's not really potent, but I'm not looking for potent. I'm looking for just a natural sweetness. So that is one way you can use it, just the leaf in its fresh form. Okay, and you can add as much or as little as you want to your desired sweetness. The other way you could do it is, again, this will grow and it'll flower, and after it flowers is when you harvest it. And so you would just take this and you would cut it. This is a young plant, but when it's ready for harvest, you cut it, you hang it upside down, and you let it dry. And after the leaves dry, you pick the leaves off the stem and you throw them into a coffee grinder. I have a dedicated coffee grinder that I use for seeds and stevia. And I just, not coffee would flavor it. But so anyway, and you grind it up. And you guys, here's another tip. Stevia is green. It is not white. If your stevia is white, it has been processed dramatically. So you want to stay away from that too. So you can grind your own, and like one plant, what I could get from one plant would last me years. So you can find these plants in any home improvement store. I've got them at Home Depot, Lowe's. I'm not sure what you have in your area. Any nursery would have a nursery flower where you get flowers or herbs. They would have it. They're real popular. People just don't know what they are. They're intimidated to start growing it. But I'm here to tell you that it's one of the most easiest things to grow, and it has transformed my life because I no longer am addicted to sugar, and I have a true natural sweetener that I have been using for years, and it couldn't be more simpler to introduce into your lifestyle. So I hope you found this episode useful. I will see you in episode 5. So until next time, bye-bye.